Next on BBC One, a fresh face for Doctor Who.
It could have been a lot better. It could have been slightly better written.
A brand new, celebratory, invigorating thing.
A lot of politics involved.
I cancelled the show. I thought it was rubbish. Doctor Who was caught in a time warp.
This video really is what it says on the tin. If I was given full creative control over my own series of Doctor Who, what episodes would I make? How would I run the show, and who would I cast in the lead role? Oh, and do stick around to find out how you can take part in my next video. Oh, and one last... Hang on, sorry. It appears I'm late for an interview.
Hello?
Hello?
Where are you?
Yeah, don't worry, I am on my way. Hello, yeah, sorry I'm late.
I think you know me now. Right, we are going live in 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome back to Noble News. Today, we are joined by the new Doctor Who showrunner.
Hello, yeah, it's great to be here.
So, first question. How did it feel when you got the news that you were showrunner?
Well, I mean, it was phenomenal. Like, having full creative control of the show and all of its spin-offs, well, it's an honour.
Second question. Can you bring back some fan favourite characters like, I don't know, Harriet Jones?
Yeah, well, I do have plans to bring back a fan favourite character.
Yeah, but what about Harriet Jones?
Yeah, I'll bear it in mind.
With Doctor Who being such a loved yet controversial show, it must be quite tricky making sure that it appeals to both the long-term fans and the general public.
To make sure we appealed to all potential audiences, we did some market research on my Discord server. But first, let's take a look at which actors we have in our fantastic cast. Now, one of the most important things about the series is the cast. Who are we getting to play everyone's favourite Time Lord, I hear you ask? Well, I mean, you've probably seen the thumbnail, you might have recognised the actor, you might not have. He's been in Skins and many other famous things. He's not most famous for being in Skins, I promise. Playing the role of the Doctor, we have Dev Patel. He's gonna bring an exciting spark, lots of comedy and physical performance, and a sense of mystery and unpredictability to the character. In a somewhat similar vein to Matt Smith's young man trapped in an old man's body, we really want the impression that this is an ancient Time Lord who loves his life. Also, we want him to be brilliant at giving speeches, because that's an essential part of being the Doctor. Now, who are we having for his companions? First companion is Alex, played by Lydia West. You've probably seen Lydia in a bunch of other BBC shows such as It's a Sin, that was Channel 4, nice one Joe, such as Years and Years, was that Channel 4? maybe. Lydia West plays Alex, who's a time traveller from Earth's distant future, in a similar vein to Orson Pink from Series 8 of Doctor Who. Now naturally, because Alex is one of these time travellers from the future, she has a great sense of excitement for travelling. She wants to see as much of the universe as she can, she's inquisitive, she's strong-minded, and sometimes her and the Doctor might clash over opinions. Speaking of clashing over opinions, our third and final member of this TARDIS team is Sam, played by Josh Dillon. Now, Sam is a thief from the 1970s. Not the typical choice for a companion. As you'll discover when I talk about the episodes, he becomes a companion by accident. But throughout the course of the series, him and Alex start to fall in love.
What can I say? I'm a romantic.
And down to the Doctor's influence and Alex's influence, he becomes a much nicer, much better person. Now that we have our main trio set up, it's time for some Discord market research. Discord is a wonderful place, probably. I asked you lot to tell me in exactly one sentence what you wanted to see from a future series of Doctor Who. The results were questionable.
Caroline Ford reprised her role as Susan.
The return of Clive from Series 1.
Yes. As a fellow Welshman, I agree. Golden buzzer, golden buzzer.
Am I on YouTube?
You the real YouTube.
Can I say something to the people of the interwebs?
You have one sentence.
I hope I see someone like Jeremy Clarkson or the 14th Doctor. I hope I see like that.
Yeah, some strange suggestions, but you know, we kept going.
Dunno.
I have to say more character development for the companions.
Like more of the classic stuff, like how the Zero Room was implemented.
I really want to see the Paradigm Daleks come back.
Slitheen, obviously.
Yeah.
Not much more to it.
Okay, maybe this isn't very helpful.
I would like to see the Doctor's regeneration scene not be in the TARDIS.
I would like simple stories.
Just one companion to return.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to include all of your suggestions in this video because there were just too many. But it wasn't entirely pointless. What we got from that was the majority of people enjoyed a fresh start, almost a soft reboot of sorts. This is why I've made the decision to start the series in a similar vein to Rose from 2005. You're not actually going to see this Dev Patel Doctor regenerate. We're going to start from the companion's perspective with an already somewhat established Doctor. Oh, and another thing you all wanted, yeah, we're going to bring back a former companion at some point. Spoilers! We've got the cast, we've got the crew, we've got the bigger budget, we've got the writing team. What's the one thing we're missing? An essential part of Doctor Who is the soundtrack. The music of the show is truly what hooks in the audience and makes them feel the emotions of the story and the characters. Allow me to introduce you to Charlie Jo Simpson from the band 3 Years Younger. She is the fantastic composer who will be writing all of the music for this series. You may have heard some of the tracks already at the beginning of the video, and you'll continue to hear these fantastic tracks underscoring us as we speak through the episodes later on. Now, if you want to hear the full versions of these tracks, they'll all be uploaded on my Clips channel. There's a playlist to these tracks in the description, so you can go and listen to them after you've watched the video. Make sure you go and follow their Instagram page where you can keep up to date with all of their musical stuff.
I think you know me now. So, Harriet Jones?
What about her?
Any plans on, you know, bringing her...
No!
Oh. I also heard about the recent budget cuts at the BBC. Does that pose any challenges to the series?
Well, I mean, it certainly doesn't make things any easier.
I'm this year's cameraman for BBC's Doctor Who. If you couldn't tell, we've had some massive budget cuts.
Shut up!
But we are lucky enough to be able to film on our Nokias.
What experience do I have? I did do GCSE biology. Smart boy, biology. Did fail it, but that doesn't really matter.
What do I do in my spare time? I'm on the sickest grime station, you know. Who do I play? Stormzy. You don't know who he is. You're so uncool, bro.
You're so uncool right now.
Sheffield's sickest grime station. Where's all of our money going? No ball news. It's doing surprisingly well. Before the serious budget cuts, when I used to work during the David Tennant era, I used to drive a really nice Mercedes. Now I had to sell my front wheel on my bike to pay this month's rent, and I have to cycle to work on one wheel. It has been difficult.
Now, budget is actually an issue. I mean, it's all well and good sitting down with my writing team and yelling out ideas such as,
and then we'll go to the red fiery skied
planet with the mountains that sway in the breeze.
But if we can't actually achieve those mountains that sway in the breeze, we're stuck. That is one thing you'll notice throughout of all of Doctor Who, and I'd say probably especially the Russell T Davies era. The Doctor just sort of stands around monologuing about these planets which we'll never see.
It's like the planet Fellspoon.
Gallifrax Minor, Jehu, Shalakatop, Woman Wept.
Fellspoon. Apparently it's got mountains that sway in the breeze. Mountains that move.
The Moran Galaxy.
And as a kid, you always sit there and wonder, well, why can't we see those other planets? And the answer is the budget. Don't get me wrong, it's part of the charm of Doctor Who, like, the sets look like they're made of cardboard. But it would be nice if we could get them to look a little more realistic. We don't just want every alien planet to look like some other random quarry in Cardiff, we want to actually sell that these characters are travelling to other worlds. This is why I would, oh god, this is going to be controversial. This is why I would team up with a streaming service like Netflix or Disney Plus in order to give the show just a little more spark. Don't worry though, it's still being produced by the BBC. We're just doing a sort of, what's that thing where companies join together? Is it like vertical or horizontal integration or something? I've heard that in media somewhere. With shows like WandaVision, The Mandalorian, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Stranger Things, all looking like big budget movies, despite being an episodic TV series, we really want the same treatment for Who. Now, to keep things fair, I did do a YouTube poll to see what you guys thought, and the overwhelming majority of you preferred it when Doctor Who just stayed as it is now on a Saturday or Sunday evening. To compromise, we'll put the show on both BBC One and a streaming service simultaneously every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Not forgetting the fact that it'll be in weekly instalments. We're not going to go for the Stranger Things approach of dropping every episode in one day. I do think there's a lot to be learnt from shows like The Mandalorian in this sort of serialised weekly episodic format. Like, it keeps people engaged with only one episode a week, while still, like, they need to watch the entire series. I think, yeah, that's the vibe we go in for. So, to blend all of these bits together, how is the series actually going to run? On Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock on both BBC One and the streaming service, the episode will drop. Each episode will roughly be 1 hour long. Each episode runs directly into the next one. However, they are all self-contained stories, meaning the audience can drop in and out when they please. The series will just have cliffhangers that lead you directly into the next episode to keep up audience engagement. The series will run for 13 weeks with 13 episodes. All episodes will be individual stories, apart from the finale, which is a 2-part epic. I said epic in a really weird way. At 8 o'clock, after the episode has aired, over on the streaming service, Doctor Who Confidential or Behind the Scenes will drop. And yeah, that is exclusive to the streaming service. It'll give you an in-depth look at all the behind-the-scenes stuff. The streaming service will also provide exclusive mini-sodes and mini-episodes of the companions' adventures, deleted scenes, all of that sort of stuff. This will provide us with a better visual look for the entire series, actually being able to travel to places that aren't just Cardiff quarries. It'll also give you, the fans, lots of episodes and more runtime per year, while still simultaneously appealing to the general public, as each story isn't too difficult to follow, and as I say, you can hop in when and when you like. I'm gonna read you my plan for episode 1 of the series. Now, if you'll allow me to, like, look over here at my laptop, at my notes, I'm gonna sort of do weird visuals for this, so you get a sense of what I'm trying to portray. I'm gonna try and channel my inner Audible audiobook voice. This is Audible. This is Audible. This is audible. Okay, fine, I'll stop. I'll just start reading. I'm gonna try and not go into too much detail, like to spare you all from my insanity. But I want you to get a good picture and a good sort of idea of the tone for this series. So, episode 1. The first shot we see is the TARDIS materialising into an old 1970s English street at night time. The camera slowly zooms out from the TARDIS as many old 1970s police cars zoom past. Still in one continuous shot, the camera pans out from these police cars, showing the TARDIS once again and going off all the way into space. Once in space, the camera reveals a small spaceship pod. It's burning, it's on fire, and it's headed straight for Earth. That long establishing shot would last about 30 seconds. And boom, we're into the title sequence. After the titles have played, we meet our first character, Alex. She is the one in this crashing spaceship as it hurtles towards Earth. We see her panicking, fiddling with controls, lots of close-ups of machinery and stuff. It's all going wrong. It's all blowing up. It becomes clear that Alex is desperately trying to send out a distress call. But to her shock, when she tries to get this distress call, the iconic song Let's Twist Again bursts through the speakers. She's accidentally tuned in to one of the signal towers on Earth. As this music continues to play, we cut to a radio on Earth. The camera pans away from this radio to a broken window, then slowly down onto 2 thieves, one of which is our other companion, Sam. Through their dialogue, it becomes clear that they're trying to rob this poor old man's shop. As quick as they can, they're shoving supplies in their bags and trying to get out. And just as the chorus to this iconic song begins to play, flashes of red and blue can be seen as the police burst into the shop and shout, "Oi, stay where you are!" Acting at its finest. Sam and his brother jump onto motorbikes and speed off down the road with the police hot on their trail. Then pursues a montage of this police chase and Alex's ship getting ever closer to crashing into Earth. Just as the police manage to catch Sam's brother off his motorbike, Alex's ship crashes into a nearby field. The explosion can be seen far off in the distance from Sam's brother's perspective. We then follow Sam desperately trying to get away from this one pursuing police officer. However, he's unable. The police officer grabs him, doesn't know what to do, he's trying to call for backup, there's no other police around, so he does what any policeman in the 1970s would do. He finds the nearest police public call box and throws Sam in. Now, for long-term fans of Doctor Who, they know that that wasn't just any telephone box. That was the TARDIS. But before we get to see Sam's reaction to the TARDIS, we cut back to Alex's crashed ship, where in a nice reference to episode 1 of series 1, Rose, we see the Doctor's hand grab Alex's. He pulls her out of the wreckage and tells her to run. The pair are running at full speed away from this crashed ship. The Doctor introduces himself, as does Alex, and they continue running. Alex, rightfully so, asks, "What are we running from?" To which the Doctor whips out his trusty sonic screwdriver and BAM! He blows up her ship. Her ship is blown to pieces. We can see the police investigating this wreckage in the background, as the Doctor and Alex take a brief breather in a farmyard. The Doctor explains that he had to blow up that spaceship because the technology is far too advanced for modern times, and if the authorities in 1970s got their hands on it, it could change the course of history. This highlights our new Doctor's unpredictability and reckless nature. Alex explains that she's a time traveller from the distant future, and the Doctor tells her not to worry because he has a time machine. The Doctor and Alex have some nice, jokey exposition as they walk back to the Doctor's time capsule. The Doctor opens the doors, we get a whole, "oh my god, it's bigger on the inside" moment. Just as he closes the doors, bam! Sam's there, gun in hand. He's threatening the Doctor, he's out of his depth. Sam has no idea what's going on. He's in the most advanced time ship in the universe. The Doctor tries to negotiate, but Sam's not having it. He shoots the TARDIS console and boom. I've realised there's been quite a few booms. Smoke, explosions fill the TARDIS, and it's clearly going wrong. Not too dissimilar to the episode from Series 6, Let's Kill Hitler. I won't go into this much detail for the rest of the series, but I really wanted to establish this first scene and our new characters. We can see the unpredictable nature of the Doctor, we can see the inquisitive and adventurous and can-do attitude of Alex, and we can also see that Sam's gonna need a lot of growth, because at the moment, he's a not very nice criminal. Now, the rest of the episode is a meta-commentary on the show. every time they leave the TARDIS, time resets. Now, the rest of the episode is a somewhat meta commentary on the state of the show. Because of the damaged TARDIS, every time they leave the box, time gets reset. They're trapped in a loop, being chased by distorted, echoed versions of themselves, and this strange creature that was revealed to be the reason Alex's ship crashed. This creature latched itself onto her ship while she was flying through the time vortex, and the trio slowly discover that this creature isn't causing the time loop and doesn't want to be there either. The creature has the power to resolve the issue, so they all get along happily, resolve the issue, and begin their adventures. Episode 1 ends with the Doctor and co back in the TARDIS, but it's still not quite repaired. He tries to fly it and is flung off course, leaving us on a cliffhanger for episode 2. Now, obviously we don't actually have the budget to go out and film this episode, so we went to the filming locations that we would use if the series was ever to be made. I apologise for what you're about to witness. Hi, I'm Joe from the Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
Yes, we know who you are. Here we are, in the heart of Lolwell, aptly named because it has a well.
Behind me we see the small 1970s village in which quite a few episodes of the series take place. Right, we'll start at the beginning.
Oh, a very good place to start. This is the field in which Alex's ship crashes on Earth. The Doctor and Alex run through this field.
The Doctor and Alex run to here, where they have a little breather and get to know each other before heading off into the village.
The two walk back to the TARDIS, which will be parked somewhere around here. Meanwhile, Sam and his brother are robbing this shop.
Behind me here is the road in which the police chase takes place, as they desperately attempt to arrest Sam and his brother. Episode 2 picks up where episode 1 left off. The Doctor had entered coordinates in the TARDIS trying to get Alex home, but he's overshot the mark. He's never been very good at flying the TARDIS, has he? The crew crash land on Earth thousands and thousands of years into the future. After stepping outside of the TARDIS and having a little wander round, they wonder why they look like giants. All the cities are minuscule. Then they meet a small scientist who explains everything. To solve the overpopulation crisis on Earth, these group of scientists developed a technology which can shrink people and cities to just give a more compact space. Just like the episode Into the Dalek, these humans from the future have technology which can shrink them down, so they create miniature cities and live within that, thus giving them more space on the planet. While exploring the city, the Doctor finds his new costume. Now, costumes are quite a tricky thing to get right, so naturally I needed to call in some help, and well, there was only one man for the job, Mr. Dominic G. Martin.
Hello, hello! I'm Who Chaser, and I'm here to talk to you today about what makes the best possible Doctor Who costume. I'm of the belief that every Doctor has to have at least one element of their costume that is completely unique to them. And so, the easiest way to do this would be to have one particular unique clothing item, because there's still a whole army of clothes that the Doctor hasn't necessarily tapped into yet. So for this particular Dev Patel Doctor, I can imagine him with some sort of fancy neckwear, like a bolo tie or something like that. And you can't forget about the colours as well. There's two directions you can go for this. You can either go for a very coordinated look, like myself, or you can go for a very out there look, like Jodie Whittaker or Colin Baker. With Dev, I can imagine him suiting a very coordinated blue look. Maybe lots of teals, maybe lots of light blues or dark blues, that sort of thing. But ultimately, it all depends on his personality. Is he going to be an eccentric Doctor? Well, you can get away with a lot of layers then in that case. Is he going to be a very rough Doctor? Then I would say go for a minimalist approach. One thing's for certain though, Dev Patel certainly looks like he would certainly suit a hat. So bring back the hats for the Doctor. Dev Patel can be the one. Anywho, that's me done. Thank you for having me, and see ya!
So, here it is, our new Doctor's costume that will stick with him for the rest of the series. Oh, and let's not forget the hat. when suddenly, out of nowhere, a giant creature smashes through some of the city. As the episode goes on, the Doctor finds out that this creature was one of the test experiments for this shrink ray technology. Humans tested the shrink technology on so many creatures, and they're breaking out of a secret laboratory. They're laying waste to the city. Him, Sam and Alex rush back to the TARDIS. He tries speaking and bargaining with the creatures, but they can't understand anything he says. And the Doctor flies round trying to materialise around these creatures. So he materialises the TARDIS around all of these individual creatures, keeping the city safe. He then drops these creatures off on an uninhabited planet so that they can live safely. He goes back to Earth, gives the scientists a scolding, and he lands the TARDIS back in 1970, telling Sam he needs to go and apologise to the shop owner for robbing the shop, and he needs to face up to the consequences of his actions. The Doctor and Alex are about to leave when Sam hands them a flyer, inviting them to the summer fair. The Doctor shrugs it off. Why does he need to go to a summer fair? He's got all of time and space. But upon closing the TARDIS door, he looks at the flyer to see a very familiar shape. So, Episode 3. Now, obviously this sparks something within the Doctor. These are one of his oldest and greatest nemesis. Nemesises? You know what I mean. This poster is advertising the 1970s summer fete, with a main attraction of the Metal Man. He goes to investigate. In this episode, we once again see Sam's brother, who is now in prison for robbing from the shop. While that more domestic side to the story's happening, this episode follows a small band of Cybermen who are broken down and are desperately trying to do what the Cybermen always do and survive, converting people from this village. Once the Cybermen are alerted to the Doctor's presence, they threaten the village with, "You will become like us, or you will be deleted." Chaos ensues as people get shot left, right and centre. Meanwhile, Sam has returned to the shop he robbed in episode 1 to help the shop owner clean up. But just in the nick of time, Sam, his brother and the shopkeeper show up at the fete and manage to distract the Cybermen as the Doctor shuts down their main programming unit. A few Cybermen manage to escape as the rest are shut down. The Doctor can't track them, they've gone off in the vortex, and maybe they'll appear again in a future episode. Who knows? Episode 3 is designed to show the audience that this is still the show they love. We have the Cybermen, an iconic villain, which is like, they mean a lot to many fans. So yeah, hopefully we've cemented the audience by episode 3. To help you truly visualise episode 3, here's another little location tour.
Welcome back to the Timey-Wimey File.
Now, behind us here is the church in which episode 3, a small band of Cybermen plan to take over the village of Lole.
You can just imagine the Cybermen eerily stomping through this graveyard.
Behind me here are the doors which the Cybermen are going to blow off their hinges as they start their attack.
In the surrounding summer fields, a surprisingly deadly summer fete will take place.
Now, we have our first guest writer for the series, so take it away, Ocean Man. Like, Ocean Man, take me by the hand. I'll shut up.
My episode is about Alan Turing.
But first, a history lesson.
During World War II, as the Third Reich ravaged Europe, the Allied forces were famously plagued by the ominous Enigma Code. Unable to predict Germany's coming attacks, the British government employed a team of the most intelligent Brits to work out the government site Bletchley Park in attempts to crack the Enigma Code. Leading this team was Alan Turing, a homosexual Princeton graduate who, with his team and the help of Keira Knightley, built the world's first programmable digital computer to crack the code and win the war. Later in life, Turing was charged with gross indecency for his homosexual action, and sadly, in 1956, he took his own life under the stress of the pain meds afforded to him from his conviction. It wasn't until 2013 when he was officially pardoned under Turing's Law by Her Majesty the Queen, commemorating this great man who was instrumental in Britain's victory over Nazi power.
My idea for an episode would be the Doctor and his companions landing at Bletchley Park and soon finding an alien working at the radio station, trying to phone home. Throughout the episode, they help the alien work on the radio station to be able to contact home. They also bump into famous mathematician Alan Turing, who helps the alien create his radio to phone home. Alan and the alien bond over both being social rejects in their time and having to hide something from everyone at the park. Throughout the episode, we find out the struggles in Alan's life, and this leads to character development of the male companion, as some of the struggles in Alan's life still aren't accepted from when the male companion is around. At the end of the episode, while successfully hiding the alien from everyone and helping him reach back home, the Doctor and Alan Turing have formed a bond in which the Doctor, every few months after the events of the episode, goes back to visit Alan, and eventually he goes back, but Alan isn't there anymore, and we end the episode on quite a solemn note after Alan has taken his life, and we see how the Doctor and the companions deal with that trauma.
I think you know me now. So, next question. Wait, hang on. I think the Wi-Fi's gone off?
Everything's gone off. No phone signal, no Wi-Fi, nothing. It's all down.
What do we do?
I guess we'll have to have a conversation.
What?
Episode 7 opens to a spaceship museum, and we see the companions, Sam and Alex, following the Doctor as he rushes around, dragging them through these crowds. But there's a big event going on, and they're being quite disruptive. This is where we meet two of our supporting cast, a security guard named Jim, who isn't as fit as he used to be and just generally quite likes custard creams, and his apprentice Georgia, who has no background in security as she's 16 and is here on compulsory Year 11 work experience. These two are overwhelmed by their workload, so the TARDIS team is sat in a viewing room, monitored by the nervous Georgia, while Jim keeps an eye on the crowd in the main hall, which is gathering to watch the unveiling of a statue. Now the Doctor immediately recognises it as a weeping angel, and he's banging on the glass of this viewing room, but the crowd is just oohing and ahhing at this incredible statue. It's only when the lights start to flicker and people's phones and cameras start to create more angels through the photographs that they've taken of this statue that things start to get serious. The episode consists of the Doctor, the companions, security, and maybe some more visitors running around this creepy museum with angels behind every corner. We'll have a scene with Alex in the gift shop, escaping an angel with mirrored sunglasses she found on a shelf, followed by some horrifying moments where visitors sent 20 minutes back in time have ended up outside of the spaceship, and a climax where Sam finally decides to blow the angels to smithereens.
Well, it seems the series is going down well with the general public so far, so why not go online and take a look at some reviews? Surely reading the reviews online will be good for my mental health, right?
It was a decent effort. I am enjoying it. But it's not like the David Tennant era. Bring back David Tennant.
Yeah, well, that review wasn't too bad. I mean, they're just a David Tennant simp. Let's try this one.
Oh, I thought this series had been new and fresh and fun. But upon seeing Mr. Farris's review, I hate it, and need to say, not my showrunner.
Right. Okay. Not you, Tharies. Do you ever stop complaining?
Hello friends, Real Show Gang, Tharies here, and welcome back to yet another rant video. Surprise, surprise. Today I thought I'd tell you why ever since Joseph Street has taken over the role of showrunner, the show has gone downhill for about the 85th time. You can see on screen that the viewing figures have been consistently dropping as the series has gone on, which of course has never happened in the history of any show ever before. It's a blatant copy and paste of old elements from the series with no thought or care put into it whatsoever. Its lack of imagination is making me want the pating back. The pating! This thing here, this thing, the pating, it's making me want that back. You know it's a bad situation. The companions started off well, but they feel stale and boring.
Oh, I need to go on a walk to clear my head. Where are my sunglasses?
Hello?
Hello, is that George Shred?
It's Sheard.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Shed.
No, it's who is this and why are you calling me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm Joe, current showrunner of Doctor Who, and I was wondering, seeing as, you used to do some, Doctor Who showrunning stuff, do you have any helpful tips?
No, sorry, what?
Right, you are the former Doctor Who showrunner, right?
No. That was just a rumour, that wasn't an actual thing.
No, you definitely are, I saw it on Twitter.
No, of course not.
What do you mean it wasn't true?
Obviously not. Twitter isn't exactly the most reliable of sources, is it?
Yeah. You could still probably give me some advice on this. I'm mid-series, the audience are starting to get bored. What can I do to spice things up?
Well, I'm no expert, but I'd probably suggest maybe doing something with the TARDIS team. You know, give the companions something to actually do. Keep people on the edge of the seats, you know?
You know what, Mr. Shard? That's not a bad idea.
It's Sheard. S-H-E-A-R-D, Sheard. Right, now can you answer my question? Where'd you get this number? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Bloody ridiculous.
Just like the fantastic George Shield suggested, my friend Sam and I sat down to write episode 7, and, we set out with the intention of changing the dynamic of the TARDIS team, maybe introducing a former companion. So I'll let him tell you the story in episode 7, Till We Meet Again. Side note, this episode's title is kind of clever because it has like 3 separate meanings of Till We Meet Again. If you're really clever, you'll comment those 3 meanings in the comments down below.
The Doctor and his companions get a distress signal from the Doctor's old friend, Bill Potts. The Doctor is baffled by this because he thinks Bill is dead. But they decide to go check it out anyway, because as Capaldi said,
where there's tears, there's hope.
They arrived to a war-torn planet with a green sky, and they discovered that the signal had come from a town hall. In this town hall, they find a creature made up of the Doctor's greatest foes. They discover that Bill did not send the message, it was a trap. The creature tries shooting at the Doctor whilst monologuing, saying that the Doctor has taken everything from him. But the Doctor does not recognise him. Similar to River Song, they're meeting each other in the wrong order. The creature ends up self-destructing and the Doctor and companions leave. Sam and Alex have a big argument. Sam says they should leave the Doctor and be safe. Alex disagrees. Then Sam decides that he wants to be taken home. This delves into the idea of whether or not it is safe to travel with the Doctor. As the TARDIS dematerialises, someone runs towards the camera. It's Bill.
Hang on, can we actually get Pearl Mackie back for this? I'll give her a call. Damn. I'll leave her a voicemail.
Doctor Who w***ers!
As you can see, there's been a little bit of a shake-up. Sam has returned home and Alex is staying travelling with the Doctor. Now, as he is a relatively new incarnation of the Doctor, he hasn't fully figured out how he's going to deal with this situation. It's also going to be a struggle for the Doctor as he's reminded of Bill Potts. Despite not actually seeing her, the guilt is still there within him because the last he saw of her, she was dead. Well, turned into a Cyberman, but that's practically dead. So there is this sort of moral quandary of, is it best for the Doctor to let them go? Because companions in the past, like Bill, haven't had the greatest of times. I'll leave that up to the audience to decide.
Because of the fallout of Sam leaving, the Doctor and Alex try to relax, so land on an asteroid with an ice mining base where a festival is going on. The festival celebrates an ancient mysterious box called the Pandoric Way. They meet with the base commander who detains them but eventually allows them to join in as it's a holiday. I heard that is often the rule as well. If someone breaks into your house, if it's Christmas, you've got to let them stay. The Doctor performs by playing the spoons, and gradually over the night Alex seems to get happier and seemingly forgives Sam. Over the course of the night people start to drift into small groups, but the Doctor and Alex don't really pay attention to this. There's a small power outage momentarily, but the party still continues in full swing. Doctor investigates. A jealous alien later admits to having tried to steal the box but failed. The day is saved, so it seemed. The camera pans out to reveal the floating corpses of the characters on the space station. They've been killed by an unknown source. The camera backs off, we see a very familiar symbol, and a shadowy figure picking up a box and walking off into the sunset.
Make sure you paid attention to that little box. It's going to be important later on. Now, due to us producing 13 one-hour episodes a year, we are going to have to do what they did in the Russell T Davies era and give 1 or 2 Doctor or Companion Light stories. Now, Doctor Light stories are no easy task, so we got in the best of the best to write this one.
Hello everybody, Crispy Bro here, and welcome to the Confused Adipose Showrunner show. So, Joe has left me in charge of thinking up on what I would do as the writer of a Dr. Light episode, and this was quite the challenge. So here's my pitch. The Doctor and companion go to some alien world they haven't been to before. They're having a great time, but something tragic happens. They get injured. The Doctor gets injured very, very badly. They go to the hospital, and it doesn't look like the Doctor's going to make it. Something's wrong with the regeneration. Something's going crazy. But while they're on this alien planet, the companion has picked up some weird artifact, and it activates, which swaps the Doctor's consciousness into the companion's mind. So basically, the gimmick of the episode is that the companion would be acting like the Doctor for the whole episode, which would be a real challenge for the actor and would be awesome to see on screen. And how they tie it all up, well, I'm going to have to ask the showrunner for tips as to how that episode ends, because I haven't got a clue yet. But it all ends all good, and the Doctor's fine, and the companion's fine. But yeah, that's the pitch. Crispy for showrunner? No. Confused Adipose for showrunner.
How could this episode wrap up? Not a clue. Someone tell me in the comments. At the end of this relatively light-hearted episode, Alex has calmed down, and she asks the Doctor to take her back to 1970 so she can apologise to Sam. But upon opening the TARDIS doors, she sees Sam is already waiting there for her. He jumps aboard the TARDIS, saying he's thought it over and he wants to continue travelling, as there's nothing left for him on Earth. Companions are all back together, reconciled, and they fly off into space, ready for the next episode. Also, just saying, there was another one of those mysterious little boxes. Just saying.
I think you know me now. Right, I've been thinking.
I swear to God, if this is about Harriet Jones...
Never mind.
Look, we can't just include pointless cameos that serve no narrative purpose. All it does is waste the audience's time in an attempt to win them over with nostalgia. Hang on, sorry, I'm getting a call.
Hello, Joe. It's Pearl Mackie here.
Ah, yes, Pearl. Thanks for getting back to me.
Or confused, Adipose. I think that might be your alias. I like it.
Yeah, that's me. Glad you like it. I mean, honestly, I thought you were absolutely fantastic as Bill Potts.
Thank you very, very much for the compliment. I'm glad you liked my performance on Doctor Who.
Now, down to business. If you were given the chance, would you like to return to Doctor Who?
Given the chance, would I like to return? I mean, yeah, it's a wonderful show. It would be so exciting to work with this team, or even some teams in the future.
Well, I mean, we have a job going here.
My gosh, that's an exciting thought, isn't it?
Very exciting indeed. Now, we've cast Dev Patel as the Doctor. I mean, what do you think about his casting?
I do think Dev Patel would be a good Doctor. I think, yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting question. I mean, I think he's a marvellous actor. I think he would be very sparky as the Doctor, would be a nice sort of youthful kind of fun energy.
Fun energy indeed. Now, I hope I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, but speaking of fun energy, would you be up for your own Doctor Who spin-off?
Do I think a Bill Potts spin-off show should happen? Definitely. That would be sick.
Brilliant! I was hoping you'd say yes to that one. Now, seeing as you're, returning to the show, is there any other, creature, villain, doctor, friend, companion that you'd like to meet?
What Doctor Who character would I like to meet? Gosh, there's so many. I mean, all of them. K9. Probably, yeah. I feel like that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to love K9. Anyway, thanks for the call, but, I've got a show to produce.
Yeah, have a great day. Bye!
Bye! See ya!
So, Doctor Who. The Doctor, Sam and Alex arrive on the planet of Veluti. I just made that up on the spot, but we move. Which is essentially an alien solar system marketplace. Unfortunately, the planets are about to go to war with each other because of trading disagreements. And to top that all off, aliens are going to cause the sun to explode. So, naturally, the Doctor has to step in and stop them. What we really want to focus on here is the last stretch of the episode, in which the Doctor, thinking he's lost, unites all the planets and stops the sun from exploding. Sort of scene full of beautiful visuals and, music. This is Sam's pivotal turning point as a character, in which he realises that, there's more to life and that he needs to be nicer. Satisfied with the whole adventure, the Doctor, Sam and Alex accompany into the TARDIS.
So the Doctor decides to take the couple to a romantic getaway planet while he goes and runs a few errands, similar to the hotel in Midnight and Orphan 55, but less crap. While relaxing by the pool, Sam starts to try to show off to Alex and steals a key from one of the alien staff there. Naturally, Alex is fuming and confiscates at him before storming off. She finds a room that is designed for couples to revisit their favourite memories together by taking them back in time in an observation bubble so they can't have an impact on their surroundings. Instead, she uses it to look back on her life with her family and friends before she started travelling with the Doctor. While she is tinkering with the machine, she notices a keyhole that is very similar to the key that she got from Sam. When she inserts it, it allows her to travel forward along her timeline too. She sees a life where Sam and herself have split off from the Doctor. Sam has gone back to crime, and eventually she sees herself as a single mother after Sam got himself arrested. Eventually, the Doctor and Sam find her and console her and reassure her that it's just one possible future. However, the Doctor realises that the technology is a bit off for the time period and the planet, and after some investigation, they realise that the staff have been harvesting time energy from some of the captive time agents. They inevitably save the day, and now on to episode 12.
Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail for episode 11, I'm just going to give you the concept. The TARDIS is swallowed by a giant alien creature, so the entire episode takes place in the box, like a better version of Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. And the plot does get to the point where the companions think they're about to die. At the point where our team thinks they're going to die, Sam and Alex confess their love to each other fully. But Alex has something else to confess. She wasn't just an explorational time traveller. She was sent out on a quest to look for these mysterious boxes which have been cropping up throughout the series. She doesn't even understand why or who her employer is. But naturally, both the Doctor and Sam feel a little betrayed by this. They thought she was just there for the love of travelling, but she's been sent out on a mission which she's kept secret this entire time. Upon telling her this, the Doctor flicks a switch on the TARDIS and everything goes back to normal. It's revealed that the Doctor simulated that entire situation to try and get the truth out of Alex. Now, at this point, emotions are running high. The Doctor's lied to them, Alex has lied to them, and for once, Sam's the only one morally in the right. This episode will really delve into the morality of each of the characters, and it sets the Doctor off wondering what these mysterious boxes are, as despite Alex going out to try and find them, she has no clue what's in them. The Doctor storms out of the main control room, angry with Alex. Naturally, Sam goes to try and comfort Alex and reassures her that he still loves her. As the Doctor leaves and walks down this corridor, a laser beam smashes into the wall. He turns around confused and runs down the corridor before hearing something that neither the audience nor the Doctor was expecting. 3, 2, 1, cut. We see a close-up of the Doctor's face looking around in complete confusion as the camera slowly pans out to reveal that he's on a film set. He's running down a corridor that doesn't lead to anywhere. There's a boom mic operator, there's a whole cast and crew, and there's a director sat in a chair with a megaphone. She shouts to the Doctor, right, reset, do that shot again, and he just stares around in bewilderment. How and why is he on a film set? That's where we'll leave episode 11, taking us straight into the finale. The finale begins exactly where episode 11 left off. The Doctor, or at least who we think to be the Doctor, is running around shouting at the top of his voice. What's going on? Where is he? Has he been kidnapped? All of the cast and crew are looking confused and concerned. The director gets up from their chair and comforts the Doctor. The Doctor leaves the building, going out of the TV studio, looking around in complete confusion. He's calling to Sam, he's calling to Alex, but no one's there. The director follows him in complete confusion, trying to calm him down. The Doctor asks the director what's going on, where are they? And the director just replies that they're old friends. The director just asks him, John, what's wrong? The Doctor's like, my name's not John. The director insists, you're John Smith, actor of Doctor Who. The Doctor doesn't know what to think. John Smith, actor? He's a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. Throughout the episode, we follow both the Doctor and the director as the director shows the Doctor, John Smith, to his apartment. He shows him that he has a family, he shows him the TARDIS set, he shows him everything. None of it was real. They come to the conclusion that John Smith must have some sort of memory issue. Something's gone wrong, and he's convinced himself that he is actually this alien Time Lord. Now, do remember, we never actually saw the Doctor regenerate. This just brings into question, did any of this series actually happen? Now, obviously, this is a very meta story because we're showing the behind-the-scenes production on Doctor Who in the show Doctor Who. I hope you're following. Just as John Smith is being convinced that he isn't in fact the Doctor, and Doctor Who is just a TV show, Sam and Alex burst into his apartment. They're just as confused as he is. With that spark back, the Doctor realises this must all be a setup. He is the Doctor, he's not John Smith. Sam and Alex are there to confirm this. And then the director slowly begins to clap. And the inevitable happens. He turns round and delivers a fantastic laugh, somewhat like this. Okay, maybe not like that. Maybe more like this.
Come on, fam!
And the director reveals he's not the director, he's the master.
I am the master, and you will obey me.
Leading us into episode 12. Do you know where he's going? He's off on his holidays. Ta-da, Ben. See you next week. With this absolute bombshell dropping, the Master reveals that Alex was actually working for him the entire time. He was the one trying to collect these boxes. The Doctor asks him what these boxes are actually for. Why does he need them? He whips out the laser screwdriver and opens up a portal to another parallel world in which he throws the Doctor and his companions and then shuts the portal again, leaving them trapped. The Doctor soon realises that the Master has some form of technology which allows him to open and create parallel and alternate universes. But how does the Master have this technology? It's far too advanced for him. Surely the Master couldn't achieve this on his own. The Doctor is just about ready to give up. There's no escape, they've got no TARDIS, nothing, when the all too familiar wheezing sound of the Doctor's good old ship can be heard. But how does the TARDIS get there? Who's flying it? The pilot, of course! Bill and Heather are flying the TARDIS to save the day. Bill opens the doors, arms outstretched, and tells the Doctor and companions to get in. She reveals to the Doctor that she's been trying to track down the TARDIS ever since episode 6. This group of unlikely heroes managed to track down the Master and the TARDIS. Upon meeting the Master, a chase sequence ensues, with him opening up hundreds of different parallel universes and the TARDIS and the crew running and crashing throughout all of them. The Master then starts summoning parallel versions of himself, which Bill and Heather have to fight off while the Doctor deals with the real Master. The Doctor's begging the Master to close off these parallel universes and seal all of these timelines before time gets damaged beyond repair. He manages to trick the Master into trapping himself in a parallel timeline, meaning the day is saved. The Master is trapped away, unable to leave this pocket universe, as the Doctor and crew return to the TARDIS to celebrate their victory, as the song that we also played in episode 1, Let's Twist Again, like we did last summer. All the characters are happy again. Sam and Alex are content with each other, the Doctor and Alex forgive each other for lying, Bill and Heather are just vibing, and we get a little catch-up between the Doctor and Bill, where Bill tells the Doctor about all these fantastic adventures she's had off in the universe. Could this lead to a Bill spin-off series? I don't know. Then the credits roll, but before they finish we're going full Marvel and having a mid-credits scene. We see the Master trapped in this pocket universe and he's just laughing to himself in agony. And then a shadow casts over the Master. Now this shadow is phasing in and out of our universe. And we hear a deep voice that belongs to this shadow telling the Master that he's failed his mission. Upon hearing this voice, the Master stops laughing. He begins desperately apologising, saying it's not his fault that the Doctor managed to escape. The deep voice tells him not to worry, as this was merely an experiment in how easy it is to manipulate universes, and how you could possibly break out of a pocket universe. The Master tries to leave through a newly opened portal, but the voice tells him to stop. The Master doesn't listen. He continues walking, at which the voice erupts.
What? You wish to fight the will of Omega?
Yes, that's right, lads. Omega is back. Kind of. I mean, you've got to wait till Series 2, but... Now that Series 1 was completed, I could finally sit and watch the sun rise on a grateful universe. Or at least I thought it was a grateful universe.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Mr. Lakeen!
Hello? Is that Joe?
Yeah, that's me.
I believe you're a writer for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous series.
Excuse me, what was that?
Well, I'm afraid you've lost your job. You're fired!
But what? You can't! I mean, you look like that woman off the TV, what's her name? Fleur Perkins?
It's Margaret Blaine here. I know I look like Fleur Perkins in Midsummer Murders. It's just a disguise I'm wearing. Well, I'm taking over at the BBC, and I'm getting rid of that ridiculous series, Doctor Who.
But no, you can't! You can't! Me and my writing team put a lot of work into that.
You and your cronies writing that rubbish week after week. No. I'm going to replace it with a beautiful talk show by the Slitheen.
Oh, you're one of those farting lot.
Sport begin. I need to be naked. Rejoice in it. Your body is magnificent.
That's what the whole world needs. Not just the world, the universe.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think there is a great demand for a Slitheen talk show.
So, I'm afraid, as I say, you are out of work.
No, but you can't fire me. My only source of income will be controversial opinions videos.
Bye-bye.
I think you know me now. After Doctor Who being cancelled by the BBC, there is one question everyone is asking. Were you silent or were you silenced?
Sorry, was I what?
Silent or were you silenced?
Sorry, I've forgotten. What did you say?
Silent
Yeah?
or silenced?
Wait, sorry, hang on. What did you say? Yeah, sorry, that was a bad joke.
What? Are you gonna make a bad joke?
No, that was the joke, like the silence in Doctor Who, like I forgot the silence.
You aren't funny.
Now that I've been fired from the BBC, I need your help. Now, my thinking is that if we create a really, really good second series, the BBC might find it within their hearts to hire me again. So here's what I need you lot to do. I challenge you to write a brief pitch for your own episode of Doctor Who. Just like we did in this video, film yourself giving a 1-minute pitch for your own original episode of Doctor Who. The pitch must be 1.5 minutes or under. The story must contain these characters, the Doctor, Sam and Alex. It can be set anywhere at any time. Let your creativity go wild. You can submit as many episodes as you like. What's the point in doing this? Well, I will watch through every single video that you guys post, and the best one will be used in my next Showrunner video. Yes, that's right, you'll officially be part of the Confused Adipose writing team. If you're struggling on what to do, look back throughout the video at our 1-minute plot summaries and take some inspiration. So, here's how to send in your submissions. Upload your pitch to YouTube, making sure to include the hashtag Showrunner Adipose in the title so that I can see it. Comment down below a link to the video so that I can see it, or send your video to the email seen on screen now. Or you can DM it to me on any of my social medias. All of those links are in the description. While only one of your stories can actually win, I will make a compilation video of all of your submissions and upload it to my YouTube Clips channel. The deadline for this is May 16th, 2021, but the earlier you get in your submission, the better. So, good luck everyone, get writing. So, Chris, I guess I've joined your club of showrunners that everyone hates for no reason. I'm interested to hear, though, what did you think of my series?
It could have been a lot better. It could have been slightly better written, especially the last story. Well, not only that, but it was also very cliched. It was very routine, running up and down corridors and silly monsters. It was perhaps a little too routine Doctor Who, very much what the audience is expecting. It's not really very challenging for them to watch. Well, it was the story itself has been done in a different way in the past few years, and a very traditional sort of thing that people would expect Doctor Who to fall in.
To click below.
Subscribe to the Confused Adipose.